I don't have anything funny to say for this video, but apparently if you just say, for the boys...
Prescription at the drugstore. I remember it's the first time that I realized I'm getting old and life is a nightmare. I'm getting old, I just found my first gray hair. Nobody cares cause all the kids in today's pop scene were born after 1999. 1999. I will say goodbye, I'm getting older all the time, and no, I'm not as relevant. My old songs are pretty sweet. Please don't mind what I'm trying to say, cause I like the nostalgia when I hear you tell me my band is here to stay. Even though we don't want to change, modern musicians really freaking blow.
Hello, I'm here. It's just me and Ray tonight, and I think Ray's still taking a piss.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, that's neat. Yep, it's just me and Ray. Nobody else. There's no link in the description. It's literally just me and him.
The Power Twins.
Everyone was busy, and that's fine. I almost didn't do the show tonight because I wasn't feeling good, but I like regularity, unlike my bowel movements. So, there you go. That's what it is. How's everybody doing? We're going to talk about stuff. Nothing that concerns you spacemen, just us toys. But I'm going to pop Discord open right now so that I can get some of the stuff. Because we were talking about Nancy Pelosi this week because of that Asmongold video.
Yeah.
I will acknowledge chat. Don't worry, chat. I will acknowledge you.
Before we start, could I say a quick prayer? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. First, I just want to say before the prayer a quick thank you to all the service members that have protected and served our country and upheld our freedom that we have today, because freedom is so very important. So thank you to every service member that has ever served or is going to serve. And then I'll just, dear Heavenly Father, please guide us today and into the future. Give us courage and strength. Give us hope. Give us guidance. Give us wisdom and give us clarity. Give us the ability to see things that we need to see and hear things that we need to hear. Allow us to use the words to bring more people together and to rise and to bring others with us on our way upwards. Please allow us to grow in your presence more. And please allow your son, Jesus Christ, to enlighten our path as much as he can. In Jesus Christ's special precious name, amen.
Amen. We may have a special guest later in the show that was supposed to be scheduled for like 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, I got a haircut, guys. Don't freak out.
Nice.
Jump scare. So we might have a guest later on in the show. It was supposed to be the incarceration episode. But his situation is sorted out now, so he could join us.
Oh, he got out of jail?
No, he was already out of jail. He was just working on a housing situation.
Oh, I was just making a joke because it was an incarceration episode. But obviously
he was supposed to be. Yeah, that's the whole reason we were going to have him on the show.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I imagine that continuity between the title of the episode and the guests and the things that we play. Can you imagine that?
No, not from you. I really can't imagine that from you.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
I imagine that with you picking a title and like any topic, it's just like grabbing a pile of shit and throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. Just a whole bunch of piles.
No, believe it or not, back in the day, we actually stayed on topic for more than 5 minutes. So,
I get it. Yeah, you'd have that one person talk and they'd speak for half an hour about the same thing. I get it. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it could be anybody, really. Anybody that's in there, they could just do that.
Well, I was telling you about my cousin Peter, right? The second cousin Peter. I'm not going to tell
Oh,
his
yeah.
story right now, but you know, you remember cousin Peter, right? Little Pete, little Peter.
I know Pete. Yeah, Petey. What was it that
No,
you
no,
called
no,
him?
no. It was little Peter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he fucking hated it when you called him little Peter because basically I'm saying he's got a little cock because he always likes to show off and peacock.
Yeah, I
and
picked
act
up
like
on. I picked on that.
Yeah,
I
little
figured.
Peter. Oh, he hates
That's
it,
like
bro.
I had I think my wife has an Uncle Dick,
Yep.
and he doesn't actually go by Dick. He just goes by Richard. So
Yep.
it's kind of like that sort of situation.
Oh yeah, little Dick.
Little Dick. Here comes
Yep.
little Dicky coming down the road.
Yep.
Anyway, as in Richard, Guru Lady. I don't even know if you're listening. I didn't like advertise this very well because, to be honest, it was one of those nights where I wasn't sure what the fuck was going to happen.
Oh, you and me both, brother.
A quick order of business. While I'm thinking about it, trying to get, for any cult members that are watching, we're trying to get a cult meeting going, but it's just every time something fucking stupid happens. I've got Friday off, so, and I should be here available to everyone because we had to update people.
Just have them join the Discord, and then we can make like a little channel and have them all added to it, and we could communicate.
Now the cult proper actually has its own Discord. I just haven't had, nobody's schedules have lined up to make it work. But yeah, so there's that, and then we haven't really talked about the way that the channels are going to look restructured going forward. Basically, I'm going to the Cone Club Cult channel is basically going to be a hub where it's going to be a weekly thing where we all catch up on what's going on. But my show is going to return to Wednesdays at 9:00 over on my main channel. And I would appreciate it if you watch over on the Cone Club Cult that you also go subscribe to Will Kincaid. More of that later, because there's going to be 5 or 6 different channels that are affiliated with Kink Inc. and the whole brand, but they're going to be orbital rather than central. So that's where I'll be returning over to my own channel. But of course the 30th podcast will still be going out on all of the channels that are available to. And look, there he is. There's Boki. We were looking for you. Try to make yourself available for a cult meeting on Friday. I don't know what time that is in the Philippines. I assume it's just like JST. So just 12 hours difference my time. So 9:00 at night for me is 9 a.m. for you. I think that's how that works.
Will, is this meeting you're talking about the one I was just talking to you about before we started? Or is this something different?
No, this is something different.
Okay.
This is official cult business.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not channel related. It's an actual thing. Anyway, so do you want me to pull the Nancy Pelosi video, or did you with the Asmongold, or did you want to talk about something else first?
Well, I saw something interesting about science that I thought might be interesting for us to talk about, as because politics is just it's just kind of like annoying to me because of the dumb shit that they do. But this was actually like exciting. It was the video, the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know if I sent it to you. He had the guy on where they basically brought the dire wolf back. They're like bringing back extinct species.
Yes, I don't think you sent it to me. However, I did watch it.
The first 5 minutes, they talk about the company and like the process, and I thought that was interesting.
Oh yes, here it is. Okay, I actually
Ben Lamb or something. I sent it to you. I put it in.
No, I got it. It's right here. Yeah, I got it. I'm just bringing it
Ben
up
Lamb.
now, and it's on the fucking. He's bringing it up in Explorer. It's okay. I'll just copy text.
I'm not saying we should watch the whole thing, but the first, like, where he introduces himself and talks about his company and like how the science.
No, I
works.
had a lot that I wanted to talk about in regard to that because I was actually thinking about it last night because I was actually watching a lot of videos about it. I actually texted my wife about it. She was like, "Oh, I knew about this." I was like, "Do you know?" Well, we'll get into it.
Yep.
Oh God, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, I would just go right at the start.
right at the start.
Yeah, just let him talk. He's going to introduce himself, talk about his company and about the science. Like I literally just watched the first 5 minutes myself, and that was really good. So if that's all we do is the first 5 minutes, it'll be good.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. Very nice to meet you, man. So why don't you, instead of me, why don't you explain to people what you do?
So I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Colossal Biosciences. We're the world's first de-extinction and species preservation company.
Yeah, and that is a wild thing. I mean, this is essentially, literally wild. This is essentially real life Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we get the
This is
Jurassic Park
kind of.
occasionally. Like, believe it or not, we get that.
Of course. I mean,
I got to
it's-
drop my hydrogen tablet in here.
Oh, you do those? The Gary Brecker
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
right?
I'm all
Those are
in.
great.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I love those.
I just didn't want you to think we're going a different direction. yet.
How did you get started even thinking about doing something like this?
So I kind of fell into it. I didn't wake up and say I saw Jurassic Park. I'm super stoked. I love animals. I want to go work on this. I'm just a weirdly curious person. So there's this guy named George Church. If you don't know George, you should look him up. He's the father of synthetic biology. He's at Harvard University. He's 6'7" with narcolepsy. He's just the best, right? So if you ever had him on, he may fall asleep during the podcast, but he's the absolute best. He's a genius. And I thought my background's in software and just building teams of people that are smarter than me, right? And so I was interested in synthetic biology, this idea that we could engineer life and that we could use AI and compute to make it even better. Like, how do we do directed evolution and how that?
I'm gonna stop right there because that all sounds like a hell in a fucking silicone mold.
Well,
That's
hold
what
on.
that sounds like.
Connect now. Now think about what you know with CRISPR. Okay, now
Yeah, I know.
connect the capabilities of both of those technologies together, and then what do you get? What's that spell?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's talking about right now. What he's talking about with AI is synthesizing a genome.
Yeah.
Because there's so much genetic material that there is to analyze, and then you get a sample of genetic material, but it's actually kind of not the whole. So what you end up doing is you end up getting a genetic composite and just filling in the gaps with, like, you get a DNA sample. There's very obviously missing DNA from that sample, and then you connect it to another one and another one, and then you sequence that all together through the fucking genetic analysis, and you put it as one large sort of composite DNA thing. I think that's what he's talking about with the AI.
It is. He talks about that in a minute here too, actually.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that all you were making me think about is that basically we're going to have Shao Tucker. We're going to have somebody like Shao Tucker come along, except the people that are, behind closed doors who make the COVID, the people who like made the COVID virus in the lab, those are the same people who are working behind scenes with technology like this guy's talking about and with CRISPR. And so for anybody who doesn't know, Shao Tucker, by the way, is from Full Metal Alchemist, and he's somebody who makes a chimera by fusing his wife and an animal first, and then fusing his pet dog and his daughter into one person, into one like being.
Yeah, if you guys have seen Full Metal Alchemist, Edward.
Yeah.
Some of the guys actually here that haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist know that because of that one time that fucking Caillou said that fucking the Shroud of Turin was made by Michelangelo using alchemy.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Equivalent exchange, bro.
There you go. Well, yeah, that was kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's hubris. It's always hubris.
Well, not only that, I think a really interesting part of that, of like that of what happened there, is not only is it just hubris. I don't even think it was hubris. I think it was blindness. He was so consumed with the physical things around him, with being able to have the house and the money and all these things, that he lost sight of the only thing that actually was fucking important, which was his family. He didn't see his family. All he saw was the possibility of losing his house, of these physical, trivial fucking human problems. All he saw was the trivial human problems, and he didn't see the glory, the gift of his daughter right next to him. All he could see was the problems and focus on those.
You know who did that first, by the way? and it was cut out of the movie was Pokemon. That's the Mewtwo is actually has human DNA.
Yeah.
And it's from the scientist who created Mewtwo's dead daughter, who he was also trying to clone, and not just clone, but resurrect, which is a totally different thing entirely. But there's souls and shit. It's a concrete science in the Pokemon universe, so that's a different thing. But yeah, he basically created a Chimera also, and ended up killing him. But anyway, enough random anime trivia. We got to get to the dire wolves, because this is a situation that so to recap, this guy is trying to make tiny Megatherian fucking genetic clumps of information and insert them into ova of similar species, basically hybridizing ancient extinct ice age mammals. And then he'll tell you what he does with them.
Can apply to like crops and animals and all kinds of stuff. So I get on the phone with George and I ask him my questions. He answers them in like 6 seconds because he's a genius. And then I start asking about all the other weird stuff that's coming out of his lab. In that process, he's like, I've also been working on mammoths and other things. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, if you had one project, what is it? This mammoth project? And then he went down this whole path about how he'd bring back mammoths, reintroduce them to the Arctic, help the ecosystem, use those technologies for conservation, use those technologies.
I want to know how the fuck a woolly mammoth helps the ecosystem. What is there in the Arctic? Because there's not a lot of vegetation already. So what is he talking about?
I don't think are they in the Arctic? I'd imagine bacteria is a big play. The microbiomes are probably a bigger reason than anything else when it comes to like ecosystems and symbiosis. The microbiomes are actually so, like, if your microbiomes in your gut are messed up, you will not be happy. I'll tell you that right now. Like, they're really important.
And if they're 12,
you can't see them.
have you ever been to the Albany Museum?
Yeah.
There's the big T-Rex, because every fucking museum has a giant fuck off T-Rex skeleton.
Oh, the 9/11 exhibit? You remember that?
The 9/11 exhibit, but the fucking woolly mammoth, the actual frozen woolly mammoth that they have.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I'm not sure. Maybe I have. I'm not sure though.
I've seen it in my life probably at least 6 or 7 times. I loved going to that fucking museum when I was a kid. Back when I was excited about the future, and not shit terrified. But
there's nothing to be terrified about, bro.
It's just a product of age, I think.
Do you know? I don't know if anybody else knows this, so maybe it'll be good for you guys to all hear this. This is right now is the best time to be alive that has ever been in existence ever. Right now. Regardless of what you got going on in your life, regardless of what the future holds, right now you have the most advantages on your side, the most capability, you have the most available to you right now than ever in human history. And it's only going to get better. You're only going to have more available to you in the future. So there's plenty of things to look forward to. There's plenty of reason to have hope.
That's a second conversation to have after this. I'm going to write a note.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get Notepad open. Because I do want to talk about shit. I think I'm losing it already. I do want to talk about, like, there was a rat experiment, the heroin rats.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
The one where they ran across electricity to keep getting the heroin?
No. Okay, we'll talk about it after this clip. But
Okay.
I want to kind of discuss that general topic about whether this is or isn't the best time to be alive necessarily. And I think that there's an argument for it in that rat experiment. But anyway, my point was that if
It's
you've
the
ever
most.
seen,
Well, let me tell you this. So based on that, it also is the most dangerous. It is also the most dangerous and slippery. You have the most powerful tool available to you, available ever in history. That's the best way to phrase it, I guess. You have the most powerful tool available to you ever in history through the internet and technology.
So back to what he just said, because I don't want to get too off the rails before we get to the next thing. male woolly mammoths can weigh up to like 12,000 pounds, and the
Uh-huh.
females are like 8,000. And I've seen that fucking shit. I don't know how many times on the plaque, and they are huge. They require a lot of food, and they're exclusively herbivorous. So I don't know what. There's nothing in the Arctic at all. In fact, I mean, like the Arctic, the Antarctic, there's no vegetation. There's nothing to eat. Woolly mammoths don't fish. All there are fish and fucking penguins. And in the North Pole, you've got polar bears and harp seals and killer whales. None of that has anything to. And if you're talking about the European Arctic Circle, like it has vegetation for, I don't know, like midsummer basically, and that's it. And then it's a frozen shithole again. So what are we talking about? Like,
Well,
are we talking about bringing woolly mammoths back to Siberia? What purpose does that serve?
I'm
All
pretty
of
sure.
these-
I'm pretty sure. Relatively soon, he says that woolly mammoths are one of the most recently extinct animals. Something about like 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, they went extinct right around the time of the construction of the pyramids.
And so he said they had to get a lot of samples from different mammoths because they didn't really have much intact because it degrades so quickly. So mammoths were probably one of the easier things that they could bring back instead of,
Yeah, but he's already talking about introducing them.
Well, I
Like,
don't know. I mean, I don't know how the guy thinks. I'm just trying to come up with a logical explanation.
yeah, I think the answer is there kind of isn't. I
I
don't know.
mean, isn't that what they said about Jurassic Park? Let's just make them
Well,
'cause
yeah,
we
they
can.
think all these megafauna, like Jurassic Park has. I will be honest that I think that if you put a megatherium, which is a giant fucking sloth, or a woolly mammoth, or like a couple of dire wolves, or a fucking a saber-toothed tiger, or any of those big cats from that period, I think if you put any Pleistocene megafauna up against a Jurassic or Jurassic dinosaur, I think that the Pleistocene mammals win every time. I don't think that I mean, like, I would like to. Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring back T-Rex and the giant two-toed sloths and all this, and we're gonna have them fight. Is that the point? Is this just a big? Because he starts talking about the woolly mammoths, right? And then he's gonna go into something that's a little bit more reasonable but scarier.
Uh-huh.
So
Just for human healthcare, and I kind of thought it was a fucking joke. I literally thought that like the smartest man that I've
Sounds
ever
like a
met
fucking
and
joke.
been on the phone with was a joke. Well, then I stayed up all night just Googling George, and there was this weird mammoth through line. Whether he was in 60 Minutes or, Stephen Colbert, whatever he's in, there was this weird mammoth through line where he was just obsessed with these mammoths, and everyone kind of wanted him to do this. So I called him back the next day. 7 days later, I'm in his lab, and we were off to the races on, okay, we're going to try to go build a company to bring back extinct species.
So how do you decide what to start with?
So we started with the mammoth first, right? Because George, had been working on it for 8 years. We needed his core technologies. We thought that there was a huge application to elephant.
and this is how it starts with any technology that's about to destroy everything all the time, not just in fiction but in real life, is that the scientists get behind it and they think about, can they do it and not should they? Nobody.
Oppenheimer, bro.
Scientists very rarely ever examine the thought that maybe this is a bad idea, because they get so antsy in their pantsy and worked
It's
up about
hubris.
like,
It's human hubris,
that's what I was
bro.
saying. That's what I was saying. It's like it's the biggest problem with the species.
What's the
Humanity
one
as
who
a
flew
whole.
close? Who's the one who flew too close to the sun and his wings melted off? It's
That
not
would be
Icarus.
Icarus.
Is it
Yeah,
Icarus?
it's-
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the whole Icarus story.
Yeah, his father built the labyrinth, and then he built.
Oh, he got fucked by the Minotaur, right? That's what happened.
Yeah, the Minotaur was actually the illegitimate bastard son of King Minos, I think.
Oh, yeah, I heard that the Minotaur was actually an illegal immigrant that came to the United States to get free shit. and that it was
That's
actually
Tim
just
Pool,
named,
right?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. His name was Tim
His name
Pool.
was
Yep.
Tim Pool. Right.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered that story correctly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I like these little factual tidbits of information that we drop here and there. I think it's really educational for the rest of the lore. It's lore building, really.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
conservation. There was some ecological modeling that had been done to show that the reintroduction of mammoths back into the wild could actually have a net benefit to the ecosystem. And so that was an easy place to start. After we launched the company, it went crazy viral, and all these other folks from de-extinction research started calling us, like folks from like the thylacine or Tasmanian tiger, which looks like a mythical creature. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The Beth Shapiro with the dodo, everyone just started calling us, and then we just started expanding, our entire set.
Okay, class. Just so you know, a bunch of Spaniards showed up to this island in the middle of the South Pacific, and they walked up to these birds, and the dodo was among them. And the dodo didn't run away because on this island, it has no natural predators. So you're going to reintroduce the dodo to its natural habitat, and it's just going to multiply out of control until they start fighting for resources. And you're basically gonna create a population sink that causes the entire indigenous population that was reintroduced, basically resurrected, to start exhibiting some wild traits. Because left unchecked, evolution just goes nuts.
Well,
it doesn't give a shit.
This is what I think the real plan is that Bill Gates has land down there. He's got some farmland all ready to go. He's going to raise them all like chickens and harvest their eggs, and that's how we're going to, lower inflation.
According to reports, the dodo is delicious. So the only other option is we're going to factory farm these little bastards like we do KFC chickens, and we're going to have a brand new.
Hey, according to reports, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and the COVID virus was not made in a lab. Oh,
Right.
Actually, that second one, they changed their mind on that. They realized it was made in a lab, and they also realized that masks don't do anything, and that the vaccine also doesn't do anything. Just
Right.
If we're talking about reports that are important that everyone should know about.
That is an important report. Thank you for that report.
Yeah,
It's
there's
breaking-
another one. Fauci worked at the lab where COVID was made too. That's another one I forgot to mention.
Yeah. The NIH. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we're missing the really important question about resurrecting these long dead species. Do they taste any good? Are they tasty?
Do you think they're going to try and
one of
bring
the
back
key things.
Jesus that way? Do you think they have any DNA of Jesus? They'll try and resurrect him that
Oh
way?
yeah, you can probably get that off the Shrouded Turin. I heard that was made with alchemy by Michelangelo.
Oh, I thought that was Alphonse.
No, I'm pretty sure I heard it was made. you know-
Alphonse is from Full Metal Alchemist, buddy.
No, I know. I got the meme. I was thinking of Battle Creek Alchemist. That's what happened. Anyway,
So how does one do this? So like, before we get to what you showed me earlier, which is fucking amazing. Before that, how does one do this? Like, from what I understand, you have to take the gene of an Indian elephant, which is the closest thing to a mammoth.
Yeah, let me walk through the whole
Please.
process.
Yeah.
So first you have to find ancient DNA, which is pretty shitty on a good day. So the minute we take DNA out of our bodies or out of anything, it starts to degrade at an insanely rapid rate. So we definitely need to find a lot of samples. So we actually have about 109 mammoth samples ranging from 3,000 years old to 1.2 million years old, which is awesome.
Wow.
But it's also fragmented. It's like a shitty jigsaw puzzle that you don't know what the box is, and someone's stolen part of the puzzle. And then, oh, by the way, people have taken other puzzle pieces and put them in there. So there's all kinds of problems with that. So this is really an AI and compute problem. It's not as much a human problem. So you have to get a lot of samples first, and then you have to start mapping them to their closest living relative. And genotyping allows us to understand that that's Asian elephants, right? So Asian elephants are 99.6% the same as mammoths. They're actually closer related to mammoths than they are to African elephants.
Really?
Yeah, which always blows people's mind. That and the fact that mammoths were alive when we were building the pyramids, or aliens, or whoever was building the pyramids. Like,
yeah, there we go. There it is. It's I literally already went through all this.
like literally, like humans were building the pyramids while mammoths existed, and sometimes that blows people's mind because they always think of them as in this like weird, like prehistoric, like 65 million years old dinosaur.
When did they go extinct?
So the last one went extinct about 4,000 years ago.
Really?
On Wrangel Island. Yeah.
Wow.
So they've been a while. They were around for a long time.
4,000 years
I know
ago.
they weren't. I mean, now they appeared about 2.5 million years ago, as far as we understand. They were mostly a Pleistocene species, but as we moved into the Holocene and kind of the period that we're in right now, they existed. They existed all the way up until they had this like small genetic bottleneck on Wrangel Island.
Wow. And where's Wrangel Island?
It's northeast of Siberia.
Whoa. And they just, was it a small island? They just ran out of resources there? Like what happened?
Well, there's a couple different theories, right? One of the theories with Wrangel Island is that they actually, there's lots of inbreeding. So there's lots of like genetic bottleneck, which happened because there's not enough different species there.
How large is Wrangel Island?
I'm not quite sure.
Can you give me a photo again, Jamie? Okay.
And so essentially though, Wrangel Island, and then there's another island called St. Paul Island, which is also between Alaska and Russia, also is where they were. Those were kind of the last two places that we know mammoths existed today.
And they died out 4,000 years ago.
Yeah,
So
and now
it's
some
fairly
actually
small.
there is actually another working hypothesis that they actually ran out of water. They ran out of access to fresh water on the island.
Oh wow.
So some combination of genetic bottleneck and that occurred.
Wow. 4,000 years is so recent.
I know it's crazy recent, right?
Jamie, can you please pull up a photo of an Asian elephant versus a African elephant?
And they're actually mammoths because there's mammoths themselves. Yeah. Mammoths themselves are closely related to the Asian elephant. They
Which
have
is
that,
on the left?
yeah, which is on the left. So they have that dome cranium. They have the small ears. They have a little bit of a hump structure. Mammoths, because they had these massive, massive tusks, right? And you've talked to lots of folks in kind of the mammoth world. They actually, move their heads quite slowly. They had to have this entire ridge of extra muscle in order to do that.
Now,
But one of the
here's
things
a
that's
good
awesome
question.
also.
Do you ever start to think that maybe there's a good reason these fucking things went extinct?
They probably tasted good.
Because Megatherium is a giant fucking sloth. I'm gonna ask Grok exactly how big it is. I think I know how big it is, but I don't want to say it before I
Do I need to go get the tape measure?
No, I don't think so. Not this podcast. No tape measure needed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mega.
That's from when we have a Patreon.
That's true. Or a Fansly.
Oh God.
6 meters or about 20 feet. So I'm 6 feet tall. So it's about
It's three
three.
of you.
Three. Yeah. Well, actually, that's not quite it. It's almost 4 of me.
All right.
Yeah. And they weighed almost as much. They weighed as much as a female woolly mammoth, as I mentioned earlier, 8,000. Oh no, that's kilograms. Why does it put it? What the hell is a kilometer? I don't know.
It sounds like that female needs to get on the Ozempic.
She's got some weight problems. That one, yeah.
Yeah, Miss Piggy, right?
This is the thing that happens though is that, like, an African elephant. How much does an Asian elephant?
Oh
eat?
God.
Hold on.
I just
Rock-
want everyone to know that Kermit is going to get with Miss Piggy if it's the last thing I do.
How much?
Oh
I'm doing napkin.
God. God bless America. God bless all of you.
How
God
much?
loves all of you. I want you to know that. That's what my grandmother would tell you. God loves you.
Oh yeah, yeah, I won't bring it up.
My aunt.
Yeah. I thought it was your grandmother there for a second, but I was thinking of Quentin's grandmother that just passed.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law's uncle just passed, the last one,
Yeah.
a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
So let's see. Asian elephants eat grass. leaves and branches, bark, fruits, roots and tubers, and crops in human adjacent areas. And they drink about 20 to 50 gallons of water a day. And this isn't even the same size as a woolly mammoth. This is way under. And they eat about 300 pounds of food a day. So we're gonna drop an animal like this.
Wow.
Because so if you guys saw Jurassic Park, you would know that they had to genetically engineer the plants too. They had to provide food for the things. So they're just going to drop these woolly mammoths into the... None of this sounds like good idea to me.
Are these scientists or doctors, or who's making this shit? Who's the one that's at work here? Scientists or doctors?
That's the thing. You know who it is? It's some fucking nerd in a laboratory.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I was going to ask you, do you think they can do a fucking push-up? All this time and energy and effort, they're going to get eaten. They're going to become lunch for the T-Rex, bro. What the fuck? What are you doing?
I did do advance notice. By the way, the cult meeting tomorrow. I very rarely see you, so I wanted to, or not tomorrow. I'm sorry, Friday. I noticed I put it in the Discord. I put it in both Discords, and I added everybody. Anyway, yeah. So it's fucking nerds that didn't get that either got bullied too much or not enough in high school. That sit around all day thinking about, because they basically like the mindset. You go to school, you see fucking Jurassic Park one time or some science fiction movie when you're a kid, and you get it in an idea in your head that you want to do something with animals, right? Or you want to do something with science, right? And then you get to high school and you start thinking about colleges, because of course you have to go to college. What else would you do after high school? Get a job? What are you, some kind of loser? So you decided that because you got picked on so much in high school, you're going to show them. You're going to do something with your life. You're going to do something really crazy and extraordinary.
Oh, you'll prove them wrong.
Yeah, so you get into bioengineering and life sciences and all this crap. And you get involved with all the gene sequences and technology and all this nonsense. And you spend 4, 8, 16 years getting your postdoc and all that. You've invested your whole life into being a professional student, right? And most of these techno dorks spend all of their time in school on somebody else's fucking dime to start with. And so mommy and daddy pay for this. So you're talking about, we'll just say conservatively 8 years. So that puts you at 26 years old, which, by the way, is just about the age that my wife was when we had our first child. So that's kind of deep. By that point, if you haven't even had your first real big boy job, you know, having to work in the private sector, you're cooked. You're cooked, bro. But anyway, so hasn't spent a day in the real world down here with us in the dirt trying to survive, skimming off of government cheese or whatever the hell, or daddy's money in the trust fund. Pop left you a sizable fucking inheritance, something like that.
So what you're talking about is somebody who's never been out in the fucking yard.
Yeah, and so they've got all this free time to sit around all day, every day, thinking about shit. That's all they do all day is think about shit. And the one question that never crosses these people's mind is this ethical? Should we do this? Is this really good for anything? Does this
is it even a good use of your time? Like, what the fuck's the point of it? What do you get? You don't even get anything out of it.
No, because with these guys, now I'm telling you, it would be really cool to have a zoo full of previously extinct animals, hybridized or otherwise, so that you could see a facsimile of what it would be like in their natural environment at Jurassic Park with better locking mechanisms and maybe a backup generator.
No.
That would be cool. No, I'm not saying we should do that. I'm saying that would be cool. But no, what these guys want to do is they want to bring us back a couple of thousand years, 10, 20, maybe 50,000 years. They're
trying to they're trying to play fucking doctor when they've never spent a day in fucking med school. They're trying to play God, and they don't even know who they are. They don't know how to use their bodies. They don't know a fucking thing about this world. That's what it really boils down to.
No, they don't. They don't know anything.
They don't know anything. They can't do anything. They don't know how to use their bodies. So it's like they're fucking they're thinking too big for their britches.
And you can tell these people are childless because they never think about the future ever. And when you have a child, that's literally all you think about is how is this going to affect my child down the road? What horrible decision could I possibly make today that'll affect not just my immediate descendants, but their children and their children's children? What kind of world are we leaving behind? And for these people, it's a world full of extinct, giant megafauna from the Pleistocene. It's giant. I'm not knocking people, by the way, for not having kids. I'm knocking. It's part of a larger autistic puzzle here with the scientists and the dinosaurs and the dun 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 dun. Shoot her! You know, that whole fucking thing. That's the problem, really. So it's if you don't sit around all day thinking about shit and you don't have children, then that's fine. If you have the free time to sit around thinking about shit, you could also be thinking about shit while you're doing push-ups. That's a better waste to, or not waste, but it's a better use of your time if you have free time like that.
Yeah, so, 2 for 1. Always go for the double XP when you can. That would be my recommendation to all of you guys, is always when you can get XP and 2 skills at the same time, you should do that. And what I just said might sound silly, but that's like $1 billion lesson for you right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I will need to come over and show you some new things for your training as well.
Yeah, I actually might need your help with something anyway at the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk off stream. Next month. Yeah, we'll talk off stream.
Also, by the way, this might be a shorter stream tonight. I don't know for sure yet, but I'll let you know. See, there you go. You're right. You need to level up.
Yep. I mean, you don't have to.
Loki levels up all the time.
Dude, here's the most wonderful thing about life is you get to do whatever you want. So if you are happy with where you are and you don't care if you go up or down, that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. You just need to understand that if you are at a lower level or if you're stagnant, then when stuff happens in your life, you really don't have the right to complain because you didn't do anything to put yourself in a better position. I mean, you can complain, absolutely. Nobody's stopping you from complaining. But
anyway, back on track. Will the elephants have sex? That may sound like a joke question, but that is an obvious question that nobody asked when they were doing this. Nobody asked, what are the elephants? What are the elephants, the mammoths, going to do when they get out there unsupervised? The same thing every teenager does when they're unsupervised with the opposite sex. They're going to engage in procreative activities.
Here's the most important thing, the most important question, and that is, has anybody asked these mammoths what their preferred pronouns are?
Right, and that's the real question we should be asking here.
You know, what bathroom do they like to go in, and then what kind of sports do they want the easy street to join the women's division, or do they want to play with the big dogs and join the men's division?
Right. And if we just focus on that, honestly, this problem will just go away if we close our eyes real tight.
Oh wait, this just in. This just in. Oh, there's been a war in Ukraine for years. Oh no. Oh, there's been a war in Palestine. Oh no. But here we got to focus on the pronouns. Oh yeah, just take this vaccine and put on a mask. Don't worry about all this other shit going on in the Ukraine. Don't worry about the fact that we've been instigating Russia to start a fucking war for the past 20 years since 9/11.
Yeah, never mind that we're resurrecting some of the world's most dangerous carnivores, which I'm hoping he gets to sometime in the next few minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to paraphrase because this is going on. Here we go.
About the Asian elephants is some Asian elephants, some of the ones that are born actually they're not mammoth-like, but they have a lot of fur on them, and they kind of lose it over time.
Wow. So are those the ones that you would find like in Thailand?
Yes, and Thailand, and then parts of different parts of India and the Indian subcontinent.
I actually rode one of those once with my family.
Oh, did you
I
go
don't
to
recommend it.
Did you go to one of those places that you like
Yeah.
take care of them?
Yeah.
And,
You have to like get a relationship with them. So you
Yeah.
feed them sugar cane and you wash them and
Yeah.
you play nice with them for like a while.
Yeah.
Like a couple hours. It was like at least an hour. You're just hanging out with
Yeah.
them, petting them, and then once they decide you're cool,
Then they'll
like
let you in.
They let you ride them.
Yeah.
But my whole family rode them, and I was like totally opposed to it. I was like, I'm doing it just because you guys want to do it.
We're gonna skip around a little bit. I'm gonna try to fast forward.
Yeah, the
Just
whole
wanna
the whole
feed 'em.
interview is
Yeah.
not worth watching for sure.
No.
want to hang out.
Hang out with them.
That's
Weird.
yeah. Just
I don't know if you have any interest, by the way,
You went to
but
the
I have a
boneyard.
very interesting thing about NATO listed down, their entire history of what their actions have been from the year 2000, that I think would be interesting for us to talk about at some point. I don't think it'll take long. So,
Okay, we're gonna do the rat heroin thing after this.
I went to the
Okay,
boneyard.
perfect.
What's the
Do some. That's awesome. And he showed me around the.
what kind of gun was it?
It was just some type of rifle.
No, not worth my time. Anyway, they're resurrecting dire wolves. They have already been resurrected. They're basically hybridizing them with red wolves. Basically, he was talking about genetic bottlenecks. So not unlike Praise's family tree, there's just not enough genetic information to go around with the red wolf population. And the red wolves keep populations down of like a deer or whatever the hell. So like they're trying to keep them around, and it's like, well, why don't you just hunt the deer? And it's like, oh, there's not enough people in this area or whatever. So yeah, so that was the whole point of bringing back the dire wolves, I guess. I don't understand why you couldn't inject some DNA, some genetic, like I don't know, like gray wolves or something. Literally anything other than a giant fuck off dire wolf. Like, let me get the weight on one of these bad boys. How tall and
yeah, but think if I ride on its back like a horse, man, into battle, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
That would be cool, but nobody's doing cool shit with these things. They're just doing
Yeah, but I
dumb,
will.
reckless, irresponsible things with it.
Put a saddle on it for me. I'll get on there.
So 3 feet tall at the shoulder, 125 to 175 pounds. So let's see. What's a good dog? A German Shepherd.
Oh, I can be a good dog, bro. I'll bow down to you.
Would you? That'd be great.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. So German Shepherd's about 24 to 26 inches, so around 2 feet, and they weigh between 65 and 90 pounds. So that'll give you a good idea of what we're talking about. And the teeth on these things on the dire wolves are ridiculous. They were built for taking down prey like bison and horses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever.
Those are
I mean,
thick
everybody
fucking
has an idea.
cheeks.
I
Thick
feel like
cheeks.
yeah, they do. I feel like everybody kind of knows what a horse looks like, but if the chat hasn't been next to a horse, it's actually much larger than you think it is conceptually.
It looks like a
Like
fucking
seeing
man
one-
took steroids. They're fucking jacked as shit.
Yeah, they look like they've been working out and fucking your girlfriend. Like that's all they do all day. Just come home and there's a horse in your bed. Like you gonna do
Gym tan
something
laundry.
about it? Yeah, the Andrew Tates of the mammal
colour is your
world.
Bugatti?
Yeah, he does. I seen a horse. By the way, I've seen a horse that was the tallest horse I've ever seen at a county fair. I have no idea what breed they are. I could ask my wife, but that would take me a minute here, so I won't. But this horse looked like it was going to ask me what color my Bugatti was, and it was terrifying. These things, like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, and it came at least, I don't know, at least
Oh god.
half a Kincaid above that. This was a giant. It's a giant horse. But anyway, yeah. So they're gonna reintroduce these giant things, and nobody asked if they should. But I wanted to talk about the rat heroin situation because we were talking about whether this is a good time to be alive or not. and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, and I thought about this a lot on my quiet rides home. It could have been a Clydesdale. It kind of looked like a Budweiser horse, but I can't be sure. I didn't ask it if it was drinking gender fluid or not. Anyway, so yeah, so
this all stems from like the potency and like power of the chemical reactions created in your brain from technology, right? That's what you're talking about.
it's something like that. So basically,
Okay.
they did an experiment with rats, and it was a big concrete laboratory setting where it was basically like a giant cage. It was
Yeah.
just steel and concrete with some hay and shit. And there was plenty of food, and it was a sizable population of these rats. And they had 2 bowls of water, and one had heroin in it, and one didn't have heroin in it. It was just straight water. And they all drank the heroin water, and they died. Obviously, they just all they did all day was drink the heroin water. But then some wise ass got an idea and said, "Wait a minute, this is not like a natural habitat for a rat." I know that we think of rats as like sewer dwelling creatures, you know, something that you find in your basement accidentally, or if you're in New York City, you know, just the natural flora and fauna of the thing is just rats, different kinds of rats. The side like
Oh
New
yeah,
York City
roommate.
yeah, basically a roommate. It's basically I seen New York City rats that get about this big, and I'm not including the tail; it would make it much longer.
Oh, you're talking about AOC, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they fish for them off buildings in Baltimore. Anyway, so these rats get about this big, about a football and a half, and they weigh like 50 pounds. Huge rats, right? I know that's how we typically think of rats, but they actually do exist out in the grass and shit. So this wise ass guy gets the idea that he's gonna put a whole bunch of living foliage in there, take it out of the concrete situation. Basically put it in, have a natural day night cycle, have it open air. He put some toys in there. He put some little treats that have nothing to do with heroin and all that kind of stuff. He put a whole bunch of stuff in there, and then he gave him the bowl of heroin water, and he gave him the bowl of regular water. And I want you guys to guess what happened before I tell you the conclusion of that. Does anybody have a guess what happened to the rats?
One of them got high.
Yeah,
At least one of them.
at least one. Yeah, sure. You're not wrong. At least one. You're absolutely right. Quentin actually got it. The rats stayed away from the heroin. There were a couple of them that got involved with the heroin thing, but 90% of the population of this rat utopia didn't touch the heroin, because it turns out that animals, no matter what species they are, like to be outside and like to have stimulation. So basically, the rat experiment showed us in the abstract that humans are not built to live like we're currently living. There's not meant to be like
No, absolutely not.
It sounds harsh, but there are far too many of us living in such dense populations. Even where I live now is probably just slightly too dense of a populated area than a human should be living in. We're not supposed to be this close together. Think about ancient times or antiquity. Oh, hi, Carl. Anyway, think about ancient times, like ancient cities. There weren't millions of people living together, all competing for limited resources, and then also here comes drugs. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so I think that the period of time that would be the best would be the closest to an agrarian society and the furthest away from this postmodern industrialist society that we currently occupy. I think that there probably is a time period in a specific location where you can say that's the best time and place. But I don't know. Do you agree? Do you not agree?
I think right now that we have the most potential available to us, and that's why I think it is the best time to be alive, because you have potential available to you.
You do. If I had my way, I would literally just farm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it would be necessarily a fun life, but you might
You
chalk
could
it up to
find fun in
autism.
anything, man. Dude. You can honestly have fun in anything. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's all perspective.
No, I know. And here's the thing. I think I would enjoy life more if I could see the fruits of my labor as I make them. Because most people, they go to their job and then they don't see their paycheck until the end of the week or the end of 2 weeks. And then you have to give money to all these different people to pay for all the stuff to maintain. Like, I think there's a TV show called 1923 when the electric company shows up and they're selling their electricity. And the guy goes, what the hell would I need electricity for? Well, all of our products that we sell that'll make your life easier so that you can work more in our factories that make these products. And that's kind of how everybody lives for the most part. They're making stuff so they can pay other people to make it easier so you can make their stuff. That's the whole cycle. I'm not like an anti-capitalist or anything, but like it's the atmosphere that I'm least comfy in. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem with capitalism is that it leads to these big conglomerates, and then that's where the real issues come from. The big conglomerates that we really need like a trust buster, just like fucking what was it, Teddy or FD Teddy? I think right was the trust buster Roosevelt.
So.
So I mean,
fact checking. 1 second.
Because then it's just like a big echo chamber. Like
yeah, it was Roosevelt. I just wanted to make sure.
Was that Theodore?
Yeah, he was a bit of a commie, if you ask me, but I still think he was one of the better presidents.
I mean, incentives. The whole thing boils down to the reason why capitalism is good is because there's an incentive system. You have to have a reason to put in more effort. That's a very important tool, and it's very useful. That's why capitalism is more successful than communism.
I put the shit in the ground, I feed the animal, and then one day I eat one of them, or both, possibly together even. Can you imagine?
Well, I mean, realistically, you're not just doing that, you're also feeding the town. You know, you're the farm of the town.
We built big fuck off garden beds last year. And we filled them with everything, everything. And Jessica did all of the mapping. Like this plant should go with this, and we should plant these flowers here because it'll keep these bugs off. No pesticides, no atrazine, no Roundup. Just like you get those little beetles that burrow in. I think they're called vine borers, right? And you just spread some diatomaceous earth on it. And they just die because their little exoskeletons can't handle the friction. Because it's like, for them, it's like their spacesuit being punctured by like fucking, like that's what the moon is made of. That's what that dust is diatomaceous earth. It's actually like really sharp little pieces of fiberglass, essentially.
Oh, moon rocks.
But if you touch it with your skin, it doesn't do anything. But because it doesn't matter. The beetle is pressurized. It doesn't matter. The point is that, like, you just go outside and you just eat the shit on the ground. You just go outside and it's like, I'm hungry. And then you go and you get a tomato and you just eat the tomato. And that's the food. That's the whole thing. Or you can cook it. You can throw it in a thing. But if you're hungry, you just go outside, you eat the shit on the ground.
Can I ask you something off topic?
I really enjoyed that. Yeah, go ahead.
So you just made me think about the theory. I think it's called the Stone Ape theory, but it's the theory where like in evolution, our ancestors ate mushrooms, magic mushrooms, and that's what allowed them to develop further in the brain, like a cortex of some kind. Do you think there's any possibility that part of our development was because of like conscious altering substances or plants or whatnot?
I think technically, have you subscribed to the theory of evolution? Technically, the gene that allows us to walk upright is actually connected to the brow ridge. For some reason, they're integral to one another. And so the elimination of the brow ridge actually allows for the development of the prefrontal cortex. So as soon as our ape ancestors, again, theory of evolution, I know there's Christians who are going to freak the fuck out, but I'm just giving it the way that it is in the context that we're talking about. Okay, moving on. So our ape ancestors, as soon as they decided to get out of the trees because too many predators, like snakes, for example, then natural selection happens. The ones that want to walk more on the ground, that they get killed off by stuff on the ground until they can start walking faster. And, they have babies, and some of them can walk faster than others. And it's all tied to that gene that I was telling you about. I think that's probably more it. It could be, but a lot of things could be. But generally, when you hear hoofbeats, you think horses and not zebras. But that's just one man's opinion about that specifically.
Well, I think, do you think there's a difference between the theory of evolution, as you put it, and adaptation? Because
Some
certainly
people would say
adaptation,
so.
is adaptation a theory? Am I supposed to call it the theory of adaptation then?
Well, it's actually kind of the same thing, because adaptation is something that happens like slowly over time. But if you add up all those incremental adaptations, you actually see natural selection happening as like it happens in congruent substrates. So this adaptation is happening because there's environmental pressures in this empty space here.
Right.
And then on top of that, you have evolution stacking up over time in layers. So
it's basically just survivors repopulating, right? That's what we're really talking about here.
Yeah, and the reason that they survived is because there's a genetic mutation, and these genetic mutations are deliberately supposed to happen randomly. That's why we have like 50 million sperm or something per, and
Well,
then
it's the one that's best fit to survive, I think, is the term that they like to use when they're being specific about it. And it's also that seasons change, as does the state of the world and the way that nature is operating. And so what is best fit to survive right now is not necessarily what's going to be best fit to survive next year.
Right. Yeah, because the environment changes.
Right.
So you have natural selection, environmental pressures, and then adaptation over time. And these things slide up and down one another, and eventually they stack into what we would call evolution. So that's a simple way to kind of conceptualize it. Adaptation is not necessarily it's completely separate, because humans can adapt in the moment without altering their genome.
Dude, that's what I was just thinking, that literally in the moment, every moment we're doing that with our choices and actions, right? And our words even.
Well, that's why we're at the top of the damn food chain. That's why, in the macrocosmic sense, because technically ants do literally everything that humans do on a micro scale, including intercontinental war. They engage in incest and rape and slavery. Actually, ants engage in slavery of other ants. There's an entire ant species there's an entire ant species that brainwashes with pheromones other species of ants and gets them to work in their colony.
Oh, but do they have multiple wives, multiple women in their lives? Do they have harems?
Usually not, but some ant species, some ant colonies can have as many as 3 or even 4 queens, depending on the size.
Man. I'll tell you what, dude, that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of, it's a lot of work tending to that many queens.
Yeah.
But
slay queen.
That's why I'm glad I'm not an ant and a person. So, because I don't think that works in people either.
I saw the movie An Ant's Life, or Bug's Life, whatever the hell it was.
Well, there was Ants and A Bug's Life that were released around the same time, because DreamWorks actually got the drop on them. There was there was corporate espionage involved. That's a neat story if you get the time. But
Those
yeah.
are back in the days when you could actually go watch the animated movies and they weren't just like peddling like weak fairy tale garbage.
Yeah, usually an animated film was actually trying to tell a story that was worth telling. Now we've got Shrek 5 coming out.
Well, didn't they just make like a new Snow White or something?
They did with Rachel Zegler, who hated the character. Now, this was also something that I wanted to talk about. I did not watch the Minecraft movie in a theater, if you catch my meaning. I had an eye patch on because I was very curious. And I've learned some things by watching the movie about the level of care that was taken with the source material and how that's not done except for outside of like Sonic. The Sonic and Mario movies were great for intellectual property, like respecting the intellectual property and making it into a movie and not just being hot garbage. But
Yep.
I'll tell you, the Minecraft movie, it wasn't great. It was all right. I imagine that there were a lot of very autistic fanatics about that were not happy with the way the movie came out. But I imagine that there are millions of kids that love that fucking movie. Now, I don't like Jack Black's politics, but Jack Black was actually very good at it.
That's good.
But the thing is that Jack Black has a YouTube channel where he plays Minecraft, and it was not heavily advertised. It was all organic. And it's called, I think it's called Jablisky.
Yeah, something like that. Jablinski?
Yeah, something like that. And him and the creators of the movie, Jack Black created a Minecraft server to show the producers and the writers like the mechanics of the game and how things work. And they had a 12-man server that they played on.
Hell yeah.
And one of the things that I really appreciated, because I'm not heavy into Minecraft. I know that Guru Lady is, and I enjoy it. I'm gonna probably play it with my kid because it seems like something fun to do with him, to be honest. Because Minecraft came out at the end of my high school career in like 2011, 2012.
Yep.
Like the beta. And so I enjoy it in that sense. I used to be big into it when I was younger. But I enjoyed the Technoblade reference. Does anybody know who Technoblade is?
I don't.
Okay, so he was a really big kid in the community. He was a giant YouTuber, huge. He died at the age of 23 in 2022, so this was 3 years ago. And he died of cancer. And he was fighting this his entire life. And he was one of the most optimistic, positive people on YouTube in general.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm going to try to find the name of the actual diagnosis. Metastatic sarcoma was the official cause of death.
Hey, news unit is Dave, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Dave's here. How you doing, Dave? I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yeah. We had a story that we were going to cover that I don't know if we're going to cover or not. We'll see.
Is that the Pelosi thing?
No, the Eli thing, the EMC thing that happened, because I thought it was
boy.
kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny.
It's just a waste of time. It is funny, but it's just a waste of time. There was something I did literally with like less than 1% of my brain power, dude.
I know, and that's why I thought it was so funny.
I mean,
because he had a fit over literally nothing.
I posted a GIF.
He posted a GIF. And I tried to read through the whole thing, but it was so schizophrenic. I just couldn't. What
was the first GIF I posted? I'm going to check. Maybe it was the Kakyoin from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Or
Was it in
Goggins?
general?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was Kakyoin, where he's licking the cherry. Oh, that's the funniest fucking thing to me.
Oh God, yeah. Hold on.
Oh, I got him with a
Technical
whole bunch of the old memes.
Yeah, I don't know if am I gonna dox anybody if I do this? No, we're good. We're good. Oh, I can't. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have audio anyway. This meme right here is what caused all the fucking problems. Here,
you should show the other gifts too.
I'll main screen this. Yeah, I hope everybody can kind of see this. I hope the resolution's not too shitty. Yeah, he goes, at least my husband loves me, unlike your wife. I don't respect you. I had thought that isn't shit. Hold on, let me.
No, he's still talking to Smokey right now, and it doesn't really matter. They're both arguing over nothing, basically. And then Smokey stops right there, and then I take over, basically.
Yeah.
And I said, I bet you still wet the bed, because that's a classic fucking playground insult.
Yeah.
I posted 3 gifts, basically, and then I offered to train him. And I prayed for him.
Oh, yeah. I bet you haven't even read all that. Blah blah blah. And then he said, TLDR, you're not worth the time to read. He said, called it, and he said 2 sentences is all you get. Can you do a push-up? He goes, Ray, shut the fuck up. How about a pull-up? Is that a no then? That's not an argument. It's called cowardice. I'll help you, friend. I'll coach you. I can show you the way. And he says, you can't engage with what I say, so you just start saying random bullshit. Now, if anybody knows Eli, that was literally his whole shtick not 3-4 years ago. That's all he did was say random bullshit. That is a bit of the pot calling the kettle a racial slur. And I'm not going to read this whole thing.
Oh, he called me a bigot, bro. He came into voice chat and he called me a bigot.
He called you a bigot in text too.
Yeah.
You're going to be friends with.
Because we talked about
me.
Dude, because we talked about canon earlier, just so everyone knows what the canon is, Cyclonus is a pedophile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's canon now.
Yep, it's canon.
I got to get the chart. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the chart because it's on here somewhere. There we go. There's the chart. We can add Eli up there on the board too. Now we can just. I have to fire up the printer. It's gonna be a long day, boys. Friday's gonna be a long day. We got meetings. We got all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover on that. I gotta see if the guy that you and I were talking about, the name starts with the letter P, is
Peter, little Peter.
No, not Peter. No, that another guy with the P. Let's see. I gotta see who's live because it should be right about time.
Oh God, that's not worth my time, man.
It's not, but it would be really funny.
I mean, I'll do it for you as a personal favor, but it's really not worth my time.
I would appreciate you doing it as a personal favor. That's what I am saying.
Well, since you specifically asked me, and because I consider you an ally and you consider me an ally, I will happily help you out, buddy. I'll go talk to him.
I do. He's not live yet. Oh, it says in 5 days. Well, he must have something else coming. Well, if he doesn't, then don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It usually happens every Wednesday when we're live, so I just wanted to see. Because that would be fucking hilarious.
I mean,
because I wasn't there to witness the Eli thing, and I have a feeling it would go about the same. So
no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
No.
No, because I wouldn't go into it the same way.
You don't think?
I mean, either way, the outcome would be the same. Where whoever goes against me is going to look like a fool, and I'm not going to have to do anything.
Right.
That will be.
Well,
the
that
same
was
outcome.
The important part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll happen. It's pretty easy when all you have to do is just ask people questions and they can't answer anything. That's
true.
pretty easy.
That's factually accurate. I agree. I'm having a good time tonight.
Yeah, me
I'm a
too,
little
man.
tired.
Honestly,
I'm a little tired.
I'll be honest with you, man, and then I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I think this might have been our best podcast so far.
Yeah, if not one of. Yeah, I mean, I would have to really think back, I think.
Certainly the most productive.
So far, no dumpster fires or shit shows.
Yeah.
So that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, May.
Can
When
I
is
talk
the
about
first-
that NATO stuff now? Is there time for that?
Yeah, just give me 1 second to check something quickly. I guess that would be May 7th. That would be okay. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, go ahead with the NATO.
I'm gonna post it in the public chat as a couple of different messages. If you could just pull them up one by one, that would probably be the easiest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is
I
gonna
can
start.
filibuster while you do that.
No, I already got it right here. I just have to copy paste it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I
There
am
we
gonna
go.
have to go get a beverage in a moment.
Okay.
Because I'm quite
This won't take long. There's only like 3 things I want to read.
okay. Just let me know when they're all up.
Well, just do this one first and I'll go on.
Okay.
So NATO assumed command of the International Security Assistance Force in 2003, and its engagement in Afghanistan continued until 2021, focusing on training the Afghan security forces and contributing to counterterrorism efforts. So they spent 20 years and did fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And then we left all of our fucking shit there too. So great job, NATO.
Yeah, Biden, Saigon. Yeah.
Right
The
before
Bagram Air
this,
Base incident.
I didn't have this. I guess I didn't have this in proper order, but it shouldn't matter too much. This is the next one. This one's really, I thought was very interesting. It looks like this one got cut in two, but as long as you get the first one, I'll just finish reading it.
Yeah, for me, it appears like 3 times because of all the channels that we're on. So I'm trying to just get one.
All right. On the 5th of March, 2000, in response to a question about his attitude towards NATO, Mr. Putin also said he could envision a closer relationship between Russia and the alliance. We believe we can talk about more profound integration with NATO, but only if Russia is regarded as an equal partner, he said. So Putin was not opposed to at least coming to the table with NATO back in 2000.
Yep.
And now, so then they took
Well,
over.
he said that in his interview on Tucker Carlson's Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this stuff, by the way, came from the NATO website because I got it all from like the generative AI in Google, which everything is sourced. And so then right after that, okay, Putin tried to, right after the Cold War ended, NATO agreed to not push any further towards Russia. All right. NATO then goes into Iraq and deals with that war. Putin says he doesn't want, he doesn't want problems. He would like to come to the table. And then next we have is on March 29, 2004. I just posted that one.
Quick from Basement Dweller, though, because it's on topic. Yeah, wasn't that like 93 or 98 or something like that, somewhere in there? That basically Russia dissolved the Soviet Union. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, basically. All right. So on March 29, 2004, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia formally acceded to NATO in what was the biggest enlargement round in the history of the alliance. Now, I didn't take a fucking compass and a ruler and measure out exactly how far those are, but I'm pretty sure those countries are pretty close to Russia.
They are.
So basically, I also did the research and look up that NATO has access to the nuclear forces of France, England, and the United States. So essentially what we have just done is we've slapped Putin in the face by denying him any kind of conversation about NATO. And then we've pushed forces on his fucking doorstep, a nuclear beehive on his fucking doorstep. And then we're basically Biden treated him like a fucking fool through his whole administration. So it's like, what the fuck are these guys doing? How are these people in power? And then
right. It's like Oceania, Eurasia, East Asia in 1984 where each one was basically its own independent nation that was actually a front for a larger organization, masquerading as something called the Party in each independent nation. And they were constantly at war with one another over gray territories like Greenland and Northern Africa and shit like that. And but what actually was going on was none of that. It was all a front. Basically, it's to push hyper nationalism to keep people antsy in their pantsy about about the next international conflict.
Yeah, fear mongering.
Yeah, and that's basically what we've been doing.
Click the one up. There's only this last one, and it click the message.
Oh, okay. Because I literally read that as Eden formally. It's just Eden from.
All right, so we're in 2014. NATO responded to the annexation of Crimea by Russia by deploying troops to Eastern Europe. So now they're right there. They're fully deployed now. They're not just having territories over there. They're fully deployed over there. In 2022, NATO strengthened its presence in Eastern Europe in response to the war in Ukraine, which they essentially facilitated. Considering the fact that you got to understand that the government in place in Ukraine right now was just recently put in place by there, and I'd wager it was done by the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who else just got paid a bunch of fucking money from Ukraine? That was fucking Hunter Biden. That's weird. Wonder what that was for.
Yeah.
What if there's any kind of connection?
Yeah, involved in a gas corporation in Ukraine for no reason at all. Just he's just there.
Yeah, well, he knows what it smells like. He knows what the smell of gas is.
Oh, there you go. Galaxy gas, maybe.
Well, you got to think, bro. When you're out on the streets and you need your fucking crack money, you'll go siphon some gas to make a buck.
There you go. But yeah, the problem the problem with NATO is that if the former Soviet Union states, like including Russia, joined NATO, NATO would have no reason to exist. Its sole purpose is to for its creation was to
it's
be
basically
a union against the
I
Soviets.
think it's basically an arm for the military industrial complex, basically.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Syria, all those international conflicts were basically big proxy wars and dick measuring competitions with fucking Russia. And now that we're no longer, it's funny. The year that we get out of that engagement, he attacks Ukraine. That's weird. It's almost like the two things are related. Pay no attention to the fucking warmonger behind.
Oh, well, I mean, it's almost like ever since the Treaty of Versailles, there's been somebody behind the scenes fucking manipulating and influencing the way things are going. That's strange. Yeah. It's strange how old George Soros is, isn't it? That's weird. How much money he has and how old he is, how long he survived, what he's seen.
How old is that motherfucker? Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Happy making time. 94 years old.
Yeah,
the same age as Warren Buffett.
Was he around during World War II?
Was George Soros around during World War II? Are you being facetious?
Well, no. No, I get that he was, bro. I'm just saying, like, bringing that to think about.
Yeah, do you know what he did?
You work with the Nazis, bro.
Yeah, do you know what he did working for the Nazis?
Not specifically.
Yeah, so basically he was a rat. In fact, the word that they use in English would roughly translate to, I think, Jew rat. And what he would do is he would go around and find Jews and help seize their property. And he would take his little cut. And by the end of the war, he had a sizable pile. And then, of course, the Nuremberg trials happen and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, I'm Jewish. My actual father was a Jew. Never mind the fact that I was collaborating with Nazis the whole time." And then years later, I would go on 60 Minutes and say it was the happiest time of my life. He called it, quote, happy making time, which was the joke that I made earlier. Yeah, never mind any of that. just, he can't. How could he possibly be a Nazi
bro,
collaborator?
He's
technically
funded Black
Jewish.
Lives Matter, dude. He's obviously a good guy. He's funded Black Lives Matter. He's funded
Right.
the trannies. He's a good
Yeah.
guy. He's doing good things for the world.
He's got frequent
You know,
flyer miles with the
listen,
World
dude,
Economic Forum.
Listen, if we had to gas a few Jews for him to be in this position, then it's clearly worth it, isn't it? They're just Jew lives.
He's only destabilized the
Dude.
economies of several small nations.
Straight white men and Jews, like, they're just irrelevant to this world. We should just get rid of them. They don't fit any criteria or a box. So what good are they?
In Minecraft, because I'd like this conversation to stay up for more than 5 minutes. I hate dancing around. I realize that you were being facetious, but YouTube doesn't understand that because they've got robots wandering around.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a good conversation, and I'd like to stay up for at least a couple of days. But, oh, God. Yeah, it's a shit show. It's a big cosmic shit show.
I think we got a good shot if we can work together. If as many of us work together, if we can get enough of us working together, there's not a problem we can't handle. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Oh God. We all have to get on the same page, though, and they're making it They're making it increasingly difficult for people.
Oh God. Are you talking about Peter again?
No, I'm actually not talking about Peter.
Oh, well, I am. He's such a pain in my cock, bro. He's made my life so fucking difficult and such a pain in the ass when it could have been so much easier and we could have gotten so much more out of the situation when I was fucking dealing with him, when I was working with him, bro. Oh my God. Such a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, it does. It does make more sense to work together than work against each other. The synergism of the thing is important. Being on the same page, generally agreeing. I have no idea who you are, but hello.
Welcome.
This is what we do every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Oh, okay. It's Quentin's brother. All right.
I'm going to grab one of those. Yeah, I'm going to grab one of those videos. I'll just start with the first one. I don't remember what the hell it was, but
okay, we'll do that, and then we'll go to the guest that we missed a couple weeks ago.
Oh, we can just do that. No, we'll just do that.
Okay. I will get him the link to the thing. I gotta go on. I gotta go over here and open a different window to do that.
Do you want me to get the link?
No, I got it. I'm not putting it in public because I feel like too many
cooks.
Yeah. There we go. All right, we're going to get him in. We are sending the link. Someone will send you the link because I don't have a direct contact, but I did do. Just a quick side note. I'm actually enjoying I'm actually really enjoying playing Pokemon again.
Yeah.
The Switch, I didn't know that I needed something like that in my life until I had it again. Because I completely checked out of video games and I don't have as much time as I'd like to dedicate to playing like Scarlet, for example. But I am thoroughly enjoying it.
Hey, have you been writing in that notebook like I told you?
Yeah, I have a problem with commitment to that sort of thing, though, so I've missed a little bit. But
I mean, you're putting effort in, man. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
There's no.
Here we go.
Let me say this as good advice for everyone out there, including you.
Okay, and then our guest is here.
There's no reason to ever beat yourself up or give yourself a hard time. Just accept whatever situation, whenever something difficult happens in your life, just accept that it happened and realize that you have the opportunity to not let it happen again from experience.
Yeah. Because life's a bitch enough without us making it difficult for each other. More difficult than it has to be, I'll be honest.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to do the interview. Ray, can you just hang around? And then when we're done, I'll let you in, ask questions and stuff like that.
Yep.
All right, cool.
How's it going?
And here's our guest. Hi, how are you? Sorry, I forgot your username. So
It's all right.
I was like, who the fuck is that? This is Dark Dustberry, everybody. This was going to be our guest on the incarceration episode. I might actually, if I re-upload an edited version to Rumble, I might splice this in there. So here we go.
Right.
How's it going? How long were you in jail for?
I was in jail for about 5 months. I got locked up on Halloween.
Did they ever put you in prison, like big boy prison, or?
No, but there is talk about me going there if things don't go right coming up. But I'm more likely not going to be, considering this is my first offense.
Okay. So at the moment, everything seems chill.
Everything seems chill so far, yeah.
Okay. Well, you can have Quentin hit me up and let me know if you need anything in that regard to keep you out of the clink, and we'll figure it out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So what is jail currently like? What's your experience in jail? Because I think there's a lot of people out there that haven't experienced jail only because they haven't experienced jail yet, which was something that we talked about on that podcast. Just the level of incarceration and in the United States, and that 75% of people, I think it was, or something like that, will experience jail at some point in their lives. What was your experience like?
My experience was difficult to really put in words sometimes, but it was funny. I had a little bit of fun, even though you're in jail, you're not supposed to. And in my experience, there's people that belong there. There's people that don't belong there, and some people need mental help in general.
Yep.
And I was in the part of
a lot of people. We lock up a lot of mental patients and a lot of people who are just suffering from addiction that should be in some sort of treatment program. Maybe it's a treatment program that you're not allowed to leave, but some kind of treatment program in general, because then we just release them out into the wild eventually, and then they just go do without any skills at all to cope with their addiction. They just go out there and they just reoffend, and people are paying for it, and it's not great. But go ahead.
That's very true. And there's some people that, well, they need some type of help. Well, like in my experience, some classes to go get through things, kind of like things to deal with, like first-time parents or people that don't know really what they're doing in life in general. And I kind of follow underneath the first-time parent thing.
All right.
And I wasn't really much experienced with life as it is, so yeah.
Right. Not going into too much detail about the case, but if anybody's thinking it's something really awful, it's not. It's not really awful. It's not good, obviously, because he went to jail for it. But it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, no, it's not what you think it is at all.
No, nothing degenerate. Anyway, yeah. So, like, what was your? They don't turn the lights off in the jail, right?
They do somewhat. Like, they will turn off the main. So how I was in the jail I was in, there was dorms, and there was 23 and 1, which so 23 and 1 is a cell with a group of like maybe 4 people to up to 6. And I was in the dorm area where it's a big room with a top stairs up and down with 6 bunk beds and 8 on top. And they'll turn off most of the lights, but keep on like maybe 3 or 4. And those lights will still blind the fuck out you, either if you're on top or bottom bunk.
So it's not exactly spacious accommodations, not exactly cavernous.
No,
not at all.
Yeah, no.
My general opinion of incarceration in general, jail, prison, or otherwise, is I think that you're either in jail or not in jail. I actually don't agree with broadly putting people in jail for crimes that they are only being accused of, especially non-violent offenders and non like marijuana offenses in states where it's not legal yet, like or any situation where you're not a danger to society, you shouldn't be in jail. And the bail situation doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we've all seen what happens when people try to do bail reform. It's done completely ass backwards because the only people that want to talk about it are the people who have all of the worst ideas. Just let everybody walk like revolving door. You go in, you get booked, you get out. That's what bail reform looked like in New York State, which is the state that I'm in. And it caused a tremendous amount of problems. So I think that given that your offense was a nonviolent one, it was not related. It was not a sexual offense. It doesn't endanger anyone other than a specific individual who was released from custody of you into the custody of somebody else deemed appropriate by the state. It didn't make any sense to me for a crime like that to be jail worthy. And I don't think that bail makes it any different. And I think accounting for your age, because you're like 19 or 20, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I'm 19.
19. Okay. So 19 years old. I'm not saying that you're not an adult, because you are, and not just in the technical sense, but you're not experienced as an adult because you're like a level 1 adult. And we all go through the different levels at different periods of time. And some of us max out at different levels of adulting, just pure coincidence. So, how many people in the jail that you were housed in do you think that would apply to? That they didn't belong there simply because they were just kind of too young, or because they were accused and they couldn't make bail, stuff like that. What was the general temperature of the room, metaphorically speaking?
I would say it's a low percentage of people, which
Okay.
maybe like 3% of them were not supposed to be there, considering we had people that were just 18, some of them 20, and what they were accused of wasn't really big, but still pretty kind of bad. Most of it was like domestic violence against family members or stealing stuff.
I feel
Shit
like a
that.
lot of dudes have had drunken backyard brawls with their siblings plenty of times. All it takes is one person calling the cops for that to turn into a domestic.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being too generous, but I think that probably one person under those conditions that I was talking about is probably too many in jail or prison. I know that the system's not perfect and that we're humans and we don't make perfect systems because we ourselves aren't perfect, but I feel like we could be doing a lot better. How was your treatment by staff? The COs or the...
Oh boy. So they don't like jokes at all. I made a joke to one of the COs there about they kind of look like a Mucinex booger. And I was thrown into a padded cell for about 2 weeks. Then released from the padded
2
cell.
weeks in a shoe, huh?
Yeah, I was in a turtle suit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So it was like a temporary psych hold. Oh,
pretty much,
boy.
yeah.
So not great, suboptimal, to say the least.
Optimal. Some of them were pretty cool. Some of them actually helped me out when I needed it.
Did you notice the same guys working the block for like long hours? Did they have just like super long shifts, or were they just assholes?
some of them were assholes, and some of them just had really long shifts and just didn't fuck with people.
Because right now in New York State, we actually don't have enough staff to staff our prisons at all. We don't have enough corrections officers to go around. They were working like 24-hour shifts, back to back to back. Like they wouldn't leave for days, and they would just be in prison all throughout the whole duration. And they went on strike, and then they brought in the National Guard, and now the National Guard isn't doing the job that the COs were supposed to be doing. Nobody was manning the chow hall. Apparently, some people have starved to death. People weren't getting their medications on time. It created behavioral problems with some of the more psychiatric sensitive types, and it's become an absolute PvP server in some of these jails. And it was right after we closed down a major jail that's kind of adjacent to me, major prison rather, not jail. So our prison system is overtaxed here. So like I was talking about on that episode, I'm fairly interested to hear like what the climate is like in other jails and prisons. So.
Well, I'm in Indiana.
Yep.
These jails can either be a jungle to where some COs don't even give a fuck about your life, to where I've heard multiple stories from another jail where they were fighting, they were literally killing each other. Staff would go in there and body slam people, break necks, not getting a lick of trouble, to where you're getting treated like a fucking kindergartner and fucking, what's it called? Berated or and degraded, like you're the
because the way that they
hugest
treat
piece of shit in the world.
you, the way that they treat you to me sounds like a presumption of guilt, beyond the preponderance of any evidence, because these people don't know one way or the other. You're just some kind of criminal, and you're basically guilty because if you weren't guilty, why would you be in jail?
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's a gross violation of constitutional rights, but how do you mitigate that? I think that only certain types of people sign up to be corrections officers these days, and they're the exact opposite type of people that you want working your prisons and jails. So,
Yeah, no, 'cause these people were always bullied in high school, and once they have that badge on them, they're like, oh, look, you can't bully
that's
me,
what I was saying
no
about
more.
the techno dicks. If you're not a techno dick, you're some asshole with way too much power that was never earned and was just given to you by the state because you showed up for work today.
And some of them are not even caught.
I see that in my field. My field's more medical, but we deal with psych patients all the time, and they range in intellectual capacity. So I totally get that. From the higher end to the very low functioning, the lowest functioning, basically a body in a bed and nothing else. So yeah, so we've dealt with all kinds of stuff like that before. So I kind of know an environment, especially when you're dealing with types with like antisocial personality disorder, better known as psychopathy. So they don't call it that now because it sounds icky. It hurts somebody's feelings, but I feel like we should use words that mean things that we understand, because communication is absolutely 100% key, especially these days where, you can just say you're something and then we all just have to play along with your delusion. So yeah, I get that. One of the stereotypes about jails and prisons is that it's basically like factions of racial groups and ideologies. Did you see a lot of that? Like a Muslim gang or a black gang or neo-Nazis? Was there a lot of division in jail like that, or is that strictly sort of prison stuff?
So there is some of that in jail, but those types are usually in their own type of pods or cells on their own. So that way you don't end up saying the wrong thing or pretty much just starting a war.
Right.
But
well, I think
usually
that's probably better handled in jails than in prisons, because they just throw all those guys into Gen Pop at some point. That you will end up around somebody. And so what you're saying is it's not a necessity to join a gang or some type of affiliation. No.
No,
Okay.
usually what you want to do going into jail is like keep to yourself. Like if people come up to you asking questions, it's either one or two things you want to do. Respectfully tell them to, I don't want to say anything, or straight up say, hey, all right, cool. This is what's going on in my life, because they will go through your shit at one point. Whether you're in the bathroom, you're eating, you're watching TV, you're asleep, they will check your papers. Like, that's without a doubt.
Yep. So
Then,
they do check your papers in jail as well as prison.
yes. Then you have the people that are all quiet and stick to themselves, or they have a group of people that they like to talk to. Then, big thing about it, don't fucking fight over the remote. If you want to watch something, be cool about it. Don't be a dick, because then you'll have a group of people all around the block that immediately don't even talk to each other, just gang up on you like a snap of your fingers.
Okay, word. So do you feel like, I hate to quote the Shawshank Redemption, but do you feel rehabilitated?
I have done a lot of thinking and self rehabilitation while I was in jail. They have a lot of programs like recovery circles, AA groups, GED stuff now, and therapy. So yeah, it helped a lot actually.
Yeah. Do you think you feel like your shit's way more together, or?
Somewhat. I'm slowly trying to figure out some things. Get
Yeah,
back on
because
the
you get
track.
out of jail or prison and they create a situation where they have standards that you can't possibly meet because you have this thing attached to you now, where you've been, like, especially in prison, where you get out, you're a felon and nobody wants to hire you, but one of the conditions of you getting out was that you get a job, like on a parole or probation type situation, depending on what state you live in, because not all states have probation, they only have parole. So even if you, like, say, cop a plea deal or something, in some
Right.
states you go on parole even though it should be probation because they don't have probation, or vice versa. So are you probate, or are you just have to complete programs, or?
I'm still waiting on that information to get back to me.
Mm,
So sometimes you can bail yourself out and not know what the fuck's going on, just like when you were in jail. Like sometimes your lawyer has to get a lot of information, and once they do, they expect you to remember every fucking single thing they tell you immediately without being able to write anything down, ask questions. Yeah.
that seems like a violation of due process, but what do I know? I'm just some dumb Jew on the internet, right? But no, this conversation has been fairly enlightening. We'll be happy to have you back again if there's something else you want to talk about, whether it's related to this or unrelated. Just want to, spurt out maybe a little bit about a specific topic. So that would be great. But I'm gonna let Ray in now and see if he has any questions. I'm sure he probably does. And then I'm gonna grab Q. And then I think if we don't have anything else, we're gonna wrap, because I am way over 24 hours without sleep, and it's not super healthy.
I hate to tell you, but I left this whole interview to you, and I spent the time going through all those videos, so I knew what the hell was what, in case you wanted to watch any of them for after. So I don't really have any questions for you. I would, if you would like, I would be happy to say a quick little prayer for you, though, if you'd like that.
Of course.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, please help our friend, Dark Dustberry. Please help Will. Please help everyone that's watching, and everybody that's not watching. Please guide us and allow us to overcome all the obstacles in our path. Please get rid of all the enemies for us so we don't even have to fight in battle. Please bring peace and allow us to be saved and be gifted access to heaven. Please allow Jesus to show himself more than in our life and allow us to act more like him in every day. And please allow us to express your will, because that's our only purpose, is to serve, bow to you, serve you, and express your will. In Jesus Christ's special precious name, amen.
Amen. And I'm going to let Q in because I think he wanted to hang out for a minute. And then I think we're probably going to close out the show for the night.
What up, faggots?
Can I play one of those videos, Will? Not right now, but like right before we end. It's only a minute.
Oh, yeah, sure. Q, what did you have to interject? Did you have any questions? I doubt that you did. I think you
No,
probably
I mean,
talked to him
that's my little brother, so we talk like
yeah,
every
I know
fucking
it
day,
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Dingleberry. God
Yeah,
bless
Dark
him.
Dingleberry.
That's my little turd burglar.
He doesn't look little. It might just be the camera angle. To be honest, he's looking like a. He's
I
going.
like the wizard Q.
He's going like a hard boy.
Yeah,
He's
he's
going
growing
like a hard boy ting.
See, I told you that these guys are chill. Dust.
Yeah.
Q, I love you, bro. I'm glad to see you, man.
I love you too, man. How you been?
I'm happy to see you. That's what I can say.
I feel that. I'm happy to see you too. I was sad that I didn't get to talk to you guys about the dire wolf thing because I've been keeping up on that myself.
Oh, okay. Do you want to quickly go over that?
I think that they're retarded for trying to bring back a dire wolf, even though they are one of my favorite prehistoric fucking animals. But
Well, they're cool.
please stop
Yeah, they're-
fucking with things you don't know about, because if you fuck around, you will find out, and we don't need that in this day and age.
I
I
bet
was saying
these
to my-
people. I bet these people are the same ones that they see a sloth hanging from a tree and think it's cute and cuddly, and they go up to it, and then they get slashed in the face and they get gangrene.
Or
Yeah,
they fuck with a
probably.
koala and get hepatitis.
I was talking to a coworker about this last night because I was actually watching it on a separate channel. I can't remember who it was. If it was.
Sorry to interrupt
everybody
real fast,
asked
but I
me-
do got to bounce out.
Later,
All
guys.
right. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
hanging out.
I'll pray
Yeah,
for you,
no
brother.
problem.
Please.
Thank you.
Yeah, God
Stay
bless.
safe, bro. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to y'all later.
Also, by
But,
the way, I want to come clean about the rat thing. I already watched that video, so I kind of knew the answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
wondered
okay,
why-
man. You were prepared. It's like
Hey.
studying for the test.
There you go.
I,
Yeah,
I may or
nope.
may not be interested in animal experiments. So
Well, we
Yeah,
should
there
probably
was.
talk-
I was trying to find one. There's one I know I heard about where it was about addiction and how rats would run across electricity just to feed their addiction. And
Yeah.
I was trying to find the name of it, and I can't find the name of it. All I could find was the one you were talking about, which was called the Rat Park
hey,
Experiment.
bro,
Yeah.
you turn this fucking stupid
Oh,
background.
I love
off,
the
'cause-
wizard.
Oh
I
yeah,
like the
it's
wizard.
I cast unwiped ass cheeks.
I posted one video for us to watch in the private chat. I have more, but I don't think that they're a big enough deal right now.
Oh,
By the
you got
way,
nicotine.
I got
Thank
yeah,
God.
dude, and I walked 10 fucking miles today.
You sound
Good, man.
sound
That's
less.
good exercise.
You sound way less bitchy. By the way, when you're in New York, you're going to be getting a lot more fucking exercise. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I know.
Is he coming to our neck of the woods?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Oh, okay.
So when I can get my hands on
Oh,
some
it's on
Yu-Gi-Oh cards,
fucking
it's
instant.
fucking over.
I don't actually. I don't know how to fucking.
You should just be
Hold
able
on.
to click X. You don't have to sign in because I don't. There's just like an X
Is
that
it,
pops up
is it in the
top
private
right.
chat, Ray?
Yeah, it's an
Hold on.
Instagram video.
I got it. I'm logging in with Facebook because it's all meta. I'm just waiting for it to load. Is it going to be a bitch about it?
Ray, be prepared.
Is
for
it a? It's not a video of a car window, is it? Nope. That's
No,
my wife.
there's Elon
Okay.
Musk.
Okay. I'll
By the
click
way,
it again.
if she's still around, Guru Lady, thank you. I almost fucking crashed out today, but I have my nicotine, so
I can pull it up on my screen, can I? Is that possible for me to do?
No, I'll do it. It's Instagram works fucky when I'm trying to present, so we're probably just gonna get most of the audio and not a whole lot of the video.
by the
I
way,
mean, that's
this
fine.
is
Small.
this right here is the perfect trifecta for the podcast. The three of us.
The video doesn't really matter. It's just what he's talking about. Or you could even read the audio's good.
Yeah, okay. I'll hit refresh and that should work. Oh,
I'm asking you personally how you feel about that, because we're talking about power and influence, and
I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them.
Yep.
Okay? How do I feel about that?
yeah,
I
no, I'm
agree.
asking.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think the optics of a thing matter so much as much as the essence of a thing.
Well, the
But-
optics are irrelevant, bro. They're completely. The only reason why optics matter is if you're doing some kind of manipulation, horse shit, or you're looking for validation outside yourself. When you care about
Yeah,
what
but
color your
there's-
Bugatti is, when you care about what color your Bugatti is, it's not for yourself. It's for other people to see that and know that you have that available to you. That's all.
But there are
it's
so
for.
many people. There are so many people who only perceive a problem or an instance with their eyes and not with any of their other senses. So basically, what I mean by that is it's all surface level. It's all tertiary. It's not like
Well, that's
nobody
low level
analyzes-
people, bro. That's low
Kind of
Yeah,
level
like,
nobody-
shit.
kind of
nobody
like
analyzes further.
kind of like praises Christianity. Sorry.
No, dude,
What?
fuck. Don't even talk about that, dude. He's not even worth anybody's breath. Who? The dude's like Tim Pool. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody gives a shit.
You right?
Well, at least I don't, and I'm nobody. So
You're not a nobody. I like you.
no, that's my name. Nobody.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just like that story about the Honda Odyssey or whatever.
Cameron's been
Odysseus.
on the whole
I know
time.
about Odysseus.
Yeah, he fought a giant one-eyed guy, as Joe Biden would say.
Yeah, the Honda Odyssey crashed into a Cyclops.
Isn't that a dick? The one-eyed monster. Isn't that what they're talking about?
That's
I'm
what I'm
not
talking.
with Joe Biden. I wouldn't be surprised if he's talking about a pecker.
Yeah.
That's a
Kid,
good one,
dude,
Mike.
lets kids play with his leg hair. What else is he letting them play
He's
with?
sniffing. He's sniffing their hair, bro. That's what he's doing. Getting his nose right in their scalp, checking
Well,
them for
he's-
lice.
How do you think Hunter Biden learned his fucking drug addiction?
If you don't know if you vote for me or the
You
other
ain't black
guy-
if you ain't voting for me.
No. If you don't know if you vote for me or the other fella, then you ain't a China guy.
You ain't a Chinaman.
No, he gets the racial slur wrong. He just calls him a China guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, little
God.
Filipino boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I think I might record a video tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Friday, if I have time. I might do.
okay.
They're making you work
Because I
tomorrow.
had some ideas. Huh?
They're making you work tomorrow.
I have an idea for a video
No.
too. I was gonna do it on the stream, but I want to talk to you about it off stream, and we can use this idea to make content.
I might. I'll allow it. I wanted
Oh,
to
you'll
talk.
allow it? Is that
Yeah,
enough? Is that
I'll
enough
allow
permission that I need? Is there a permission slip I need to fill out and send to
Mom,
somebody else?
Dad, please stop
No,
fighting.
we're not. I deign it worthy.
But I didn't even bow down yet, man.
No, no, you got it. It's okay.
Wait, you're
It's
telling
okay.
me I don't have to bow down? What?
No, actually, no. I can just
Damn,
put
that
my
sucks.
boots.
You
I
don't-
can put my boots up higher for you.
You
and then
don't
you
have to bow down, but I have to have a permission slip signed to do shit.
Well, let me tell you this, Q. Let me tell you this, and I'm actually being serious, is that the only thing I will ever want from you is to just for you to be upfront with me and be honest with me. And that's
all
it.
I ever do.
Yep. Yeah, I don't need anything from you. I don't need you to be my dog or my little bitch. I never am going to ask you to be subservient to me. I think you're a wonderful human being and you've got ideas of your own. And I like to hear and express, I like to hear and explore your thoughts and how you think, because I think you have value as an individual human being. I mean, you're
Appreciate
unique.
that.
There's nobody that will ever exist that will ever think like you. And that goes the same for all of us. And that's our own individual power. That's truly our only power. There's no power you can have by exerting some kind of like fucking petty control over another. That's not power. That's fucking weakness. That's fucking insecurity. That's what a tiny little peckerhead does. That's not what somebody who's actually strong and powerful does.
Oh, Peckerhead Petey.
Oh yeah. Little
Old
Peter,
man
he's one of those boys. Little Petey.
The way I see it, man, I got no reason to lie to you. You can ask Will. I'm pretty upfront about a lot of things, even some things that I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just mainly was trying to say, like, all I ever expect from you is for you to be yourself, and that's it. I'm never gonna ask.
I only ribbed you about riding in the back of the short bus for the next couple of weeks because of the fucking fiasco
I know.
that happened last week. It was terrible. It was funny, but it was also awful.
It'll never happen again. You have my Boy Scout
You're
promise.
goddamn right. It won't. It's not possible now. It's all waterheads under the bridges.
No, but Ray, for real, whenever I get my hands on some Yu-Gi-Oh cards out there, I'll definitely have to throw you a challenge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro, we'll get it to speed duel. We'll do the same thing me and Will did last time. The blind. Then everybody's
What
going
deck
in.
do you run, by the
Oh
way?
yeah, the draft.
The blind draft,
league.
dude. The blind draft is the play. Then you don't have to spend a year fucking building the deck and knowing what everything does. You're just going in
Shit.
there with your fucking wits.
You just
Yeah, we get a
60
big-ass
cards,
booster box.
You get 60 cards, 60 random cards, and then you boil them down to a 30 card deck, and it runs just like Duel Links.
Is Duel Links
Yeah.
30? I thought it was 20.
Well, the speed duel format is, I think, 20 to
okay.
30 cards.
I mean, we could always get a booster box and distribute them.
Well, I have open booster boxes. You'll see when you get here what it's like. We're definitely gonna have to play. If you're here by the time I get the dumpster, which I think
I should be.
will be. That's what I was going to ask you with Ray. Is I have a clean out that I need help with. I can supply the grass.
Don't
if
worry
you
about
can-
that. Yeah, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. Listen,
I like
let me
to-
tell you this.
I know you wouldn't ask me for compensation, but I like to provide it anyway because I believe people's time is worth something.
Well, I just want to tell you this because I consider you an ally. I just want you to know that you have my full support and you don't ever have to worry about, unless it's something that it's going to be a real pain in my ass. Even still, then I'll help you to the best of my ability,
I
but
mean,
like as a team, when you're my ally, that means that I will go to the fucking edge of the world to support you and help you because that's what it means to be a team and to be an ally. Is for us to like work together and build each other up so that we both grow stronger so we can tackle any obstacles in our path.
and
That's what it means to be
yeah.
a team and to like be an ally. And then I think maybe you can enlighten me on this, but I'm pretty sure leadership means that you have to do the hard tasks and be willing to take the sacrifices yourself to make sure that everybody is happy and thriving, not just
It's a
yourself,
collaborative
everybody.
effort. Yeah.
my
that's-
compensation is not being
Well, leadership,
homeless,
not
so,
necessarily just an individual leader, but leadership altogether.
You know, that was my compensation, is not being on the fucking street. Like, I don't really need anything else.
Well, Q, I'll be honest with you, buddy. None of this is directed at you.
No, I know. I was just letting Will, because I've talked to him about this like 5 or 6 times. He's like, I gotta compensate you. I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna be not homeless. Just shut the fuck up about compensation.
It's just a personal belief
You
that
can
I have.
you can
People's
buy me an
time.
ice cream cone and give me the over the pants PP touch later.
He's
That's
got to
fine.
break the generational curses of all the Jews. You know how they
I'll-
took all the shekels before? Now he's giving them back.
Quentin, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
One ice cream cone and a PP touch later.
You got to
I'm
start
very-
doing the thumb thing like the Coliseum, bro.
I'm amused at the moment.
Wait, hey, Ray, did you was this stream amusing?
Oh, I had a great time. Yeah, it was amusing to me.
Oh, so it was
I-
amusing and you enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be honest. I liked the flow and that we kept on topic and that we didn't lose anything. We circled back around.
I was
That's the way it used to be when I ran.
Did you
the
notice?
thing.
Did you notice that I also talked about those things I was gonna? I told you I could do without interrupting the flow, and I did it.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
hoping
that
to
was
get in
good.
the conversation so I could contribute. Because
No,
actually,
next week we can. Yeah, next week we can do that. That's fine.
Next week is on it's on your channel, right?
on mine.
No, on
no.
Will's.
Yeah, it's on mine.
Okay.
The only thing is,
Well, next week is the
I'll,
celebration
I'll,
stream.
I'll explain. I'll explain later, and I think that you won't have to worry about it. But
Well, I
okay.
thought next week was the celebration stream.
oh yeah, Quentin's 8 years sober.
Next
That's
on the
the
sun-
next. Yeah,
Yep.
so we got to have Quentin on.
Yep. Oh, that'll be good.
Yep.
We'll have fun.
Yeah.
Quentin, I'm just letting you know, bro. We got to bring value. Very important. These
Yeah, that's-
people that are watching are important, so that's all I ask, bro. If we work together, we bring value. We'll have a great time, bro.
If you guys get me the topics beforehand, I always like to do research. So
Yeah, we
well, how about
kinda
this?
sort of-
I'll talk to you on Discord throughout the week, bro, because I kind of just do a bunch of different research and gather
Yeah,
a bunch of
that's-
resources,
Yeah.
and then like I can communicate between you and Will and show you the stuff that I found.
hell yeah, I'm down.
You should see
Yeah.
all the shit I send to fucking Will that he doesn't respond to. I send him fucking pages of different shit.
Just know if
that I
it's like
don't
after
watch it or
midnight, I'm
read it, I
probably
just-
asleep.
No, you're busy, bro, so you can't respond to everything. I understand that.
No, I have
I
a
just
lot
use-
of people that are trying to contact me at all times. I normally don't have my ringer on for any reason, and my wife was like, "Who the fuck is texting you and calling you all day?" And she's like, "Your phone is blowing up." I was like, "Oh yeah, I have my phone on because I got this situation going on." And she's like, "Oh, that makes sense." And I was like, "Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be on." And I was like, "This is how much I get blown up all day by all these people."
By the
Like-
way, sorry the interview took so long.
No, it's fine. It was perfect. Perfect time.
I feel kind of bad that I
you mean
wasn't
how
paying
long it
attention.
took? Oh,
Yeah.
you meant how long it took to get him to do the interview.
Yeah,
Like, to actually
there's
be
been
able to-
some situations and
that's-
shit.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. That's fine.
Oh,
I,
Will,
Yeah,
you like the interviews, right?
I really do. I really like doing the interviews.
I don't know about when I'll be able to facilitate this, but I will. I was thinking about it. I think you if it would be possible, I'd like to get the 9th degree grandmaster at my dojang in an interview. I think that
That'd
would
be
be
cool.
fucking riveting because he was a teacher for 36 years before he
I would love. I'm thinking about maybe taking a day once every other week and going out and seeing if I can find somebody that'll be willing to come
Well,
on and get interviewed.
And you were talking
Yeah.
about I can't say that on air, never mind.
I really do enjoy doing the interviews. I was glad that my dad was the first interview that I did on here. He's not the first
Yeah.
interview that I've done ever, but in this sort of
Well, you know
in
who
the
else we
format
could get
that
on?
I've narrowed down, I really enjoy talking to people one on one and asking. I forgot how much I enjoyed it too, which is the son of a bitch of it. But I really enjoyed talking to people and asking them questions about their personal experience because I do genuinely find it enlightening.
Well, so I had this channel on the back burner that was just for interviews. So I have a few people I can talk to and be like, "Hey, are you still down?"
Yeah, I'll talk to anybody. The one guy that I want to talk to is Pluto Coffins because he was going to interview me at one point, and it just kind of fell off. And I want to know what what his deal was. He seemed like a pretty interesting chap. There's some other people. I don't know if anybody's probably not, but there's a ROM hacker that's created Crystal Clear, which is one of my favorite Pokemon ROM hacks.
Dude, if
of
you
all
get him
time.
in an interview, I will fucking.
Oh, he's
Her.
gonna come.
I'm gonna nut.
Her, it's a woman.
Oh,
And
is
then-
it?
Oh, she's gonna come.
No,
You know
the
who
fun
else we could get on an
co-star.
interview?
I was also
Burnt
thinking
toast.
about that. I was also thinking about that guy that we might have on the 30th. I'm trying to hook it up, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm trying. I got a lot going on, but there's a lot of people that I'd like to interview around here. There's another guy that's in our cult, Dr. Falk. I'd like to talk to him about Egyptology, about the most recent discoveries, about the supposed
The underground
tubular
thing.
structures, the tubular structures underneath the pyramids that they think are cities. That's what the news is reporting. But we all know that the news's spin on any given story is often wildly different than the actuality. So I wanted to get his take on that. There's a lot. I'm not even kidding. There's a lot of really good people that I would like to interview. Gavin Hurleman on his fighting experience specifically, as
That'd be cool.
I believe he was a middleweight boxer, champion New Zealand.
You know-
He's in the cult too.
Hey Ray, are you camera shy? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Big bet. You know what we could do when I get down there for shits and
Yeah.
giggles is if I can score up some money, we could go to New York City and we could just interview random people.
That's not worth it. You'd be better off doing. It's not worth going to that. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
To do a Bozo the Clown bit.
We can find random schizophrenic bums in fucking Saratoga or Glens Falls if that's
Yeah,
really
that's
what
fine.
you want to do.
I mean, even Albany would probably be better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
We could,
Shit, we could go. You know, there's always at least one bum outside the fucking Wilton Mall, or that fucking plaza in Saratoga with the fucking
Dude, we could
Target,
interview
the
the
Home
mall
Depot.
walkers in the aviation mall every fucking morning. There's just old people that do laps in the fucking aviation mall. We could
Yeah.
interview them, walk around, do
Actually-
laps, and interview them.
Actually, unironically, that's not a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. I have really good lapel microphones now
Yeah,
that connect to my fucking phone, and then it syncs to Bluetooth and whatever.
yeah.
And that actually might be something that might actually happen at some
You know-
point. where
I
we
think
know
it
can
another
will. I
go
think it'd
around-
be great because then
You
we're
know who
not
el-
outside and cold or in the elements or anything.
you know who else we could
Yeah.
interview, Will?
Ooh.
The Owl.
Shut the fuck up about the owl. Okay, right. So I'm not sure if you heard this story, but I'm pretty sure there's some kind of demon in the woods that it
Are you
sounds.
talking about Peter?
No, I'm not talking about Peter.
Well, you talked
I'm
about a
not-
demon, so I just automatically assume Peter. You know?
No, not Peter. No, I think it's one of the windy people. I'm not gonna even say the name because I hear noises coming from the woods that don't make any sense. Like it sounds like
Oh, is it a bear
trees-
shitting in the woods?
No, it sounds like Treebeard's out there going for his nightly jaunt. It sounds like giant fucking tree trunks snapping, but to the pace
Oh,
of
Trevenant.
human walking.
Yeah, Trevenant.
Oh yeah, the Pokemon. Thank you. Yeah, like
Trevenant. You know, we got to go interview Trevenant.
But there was an owl outside, right? But it didn't sound like a normal owl. It sounded like a baritone voice doing a poor owl imitation, but it was an actual fat ass owl. And
By-
I didn't like the looks of it. I'll
Did
be
you have an
honest with you.
Ozempic prescription?
It definitely needed some kind of fucking
Semaglutide?
Wait, what? Yeah, some semi-glutides.
some diabetes.
By the way,
patient.
speaking of Pokemon, Pocket TCG, if you sponsor this fucking channel, we will play it live for you.
They won't. It's not happening. They don't do that. At least not
I'm just
yet.
saying. I'm just saying. If they do, we'll play it live.
Give me a
It's
McDonald's
Pokemon.
sponsorship. That's what I want. A McDonald's sponsorship. I will eat McDonald's every single day and be in better
Oh,
shape than
don't
anyone
do
on this
Ray.
planet.
Don't do that to your stomach, man.
What are you talking about, man?
That shit is poison.
Oh, dude,
I
no,
realize-
it's not.
I realized that like you could do that and not gain a single fucking pound and maybe even lose weight on the way that you do things. But here's the thing. Do you not also have horrible diarrhea from eating way too many fucking chicken nuggets at McDonald's?
No. I used to,
Dude.
part of my,
Oh, yeah, me
Uh,
either, man. Me either.
so- I was working overnights at the bakery and then I was doing construction and property management during the day and I was training. And then I would go to McDonald's at the end of my day and I would get 5 double cheeseburgers, a 20-piece
Holy
nugget,
shit.
and a large fry. And I would eat all of it.
Jesus
I'm-
fucking. Just thinking about that makes my stomach fucking bubble.
Just
Oh,
dude.
it was great. I would get
pounded.
baked as shit, bro. I'd sit in the parking lot with all that food and I'd sit there for like an hour and a half, bro.
Oh, you know
Bruh.
who we need to get on to talk
Ronald
to?
McDonald.
Ted.
Yes. Yeah, I'm down.
Because I saw Ted
Second
in
verse,
the
same
wild.
as the verse. Do you remember
I
that?
saw Ted in the wild, and guess what? He's moving up into my neck of the woods. All these
Oh,
fucking
no
guys,
shit.
all these fucking guys my age, they're all moving out of the fucking anything that resembles a city. They're
Yeah, I
all
wonder
moving
why.
out to the middle of nowhere. Pretty soon this will be the city. That's my fear. But
We're gonna the Colts getting together in real life, boys.
Oh,
yeah, I
God.
mean, it's gonna
Oh,
there's
God.
gonna be one or 2 points in the not too distant future where literally everybody will be here in one state at the
Will.
same time.
Will, do you want me to consider other people for training? Is it worth my time?
Depends on who you're talking about.
Well, I'm trying to be big for a reason.
I
mean-
mean,
I've already got gears turning, man. It's fine. I'll pick up the fucking weight, Will, just for you, bro.
I need to
I
lose some
appreciate it.
fucking. Speaking of weight, I need to drop some more because I'm not fucking losing
Well,
shit.
you should reach out to me, man, and I'd be happy to give you some advice.
Well, because the first thing you need to understand is the problem isn't the weight; it's the problem that the weight causes.
Well,
You're
that
not-
and I
you-
just don't want to
you
have
can't-
titties anymore.
You can't. Well, if that's all, then take the Ozempic. But
It's
If
about
you
being
wanna-
healthy and strong. The number doesn't matter. If you look good, if you look like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and you weigh more, does the number matter? And the answer is no.
yeah, this is like a fruit situation where it's like the mindset comes before, and if you, it depends on why you want to lose weight, really, and if you start from a position where it's like my body doesn't do what I want it to do, and I want to take my body further, then that's a good place.
I
to
just don't
start.
want to have these fucking liver problems anymore.
That's a good
Well,
place
there-
to be then. That's
there
help.
you go.
You're trying to be healthy. That's a good place to be. And if you would like my help in any way, because I put, thousands of hours into health and wellness and fitness, I'd be more than happy to help you. And I don't even need you to bow down for me. Like, I just need you to be a good person and be my friend, if that's acceptable for me to ask.
I mean,
That's
we're
all I'll
already
ever
friends.
ask. Awesome, man. That's all I'll ever need from you. I'll never need you to bow down to me.
Hell yeah. I think of you as a friend. I mean,
Oh, of course. I think of you as friend as well. I don't like to make assumptions until I know
nah,
for
you're
sure.
good.
I try to be a good person. I try to not just take the easy road and be nasty and mean and disrespectful to people. I try to go out of my way to do good for other people, because I feel like that's what Jesus would want me to do. That's what Jesus would do, is that he wouldn't take the easy road and be nasty and mean to people. He would go out of his way to be kind and gracious and try and help people along in their path, because life is difficult and unkind and unfair. It's not easy to be alive. And so why should we make other people's lives more difficult, especially if we're supposed to be good, God-loving Christians?
Yeah, I think it's difficult enough as is. I think
I can
it's, I think
attest to
it's,
that.
There's a
life is
time and a
hard
place
enough.
for criticism. There's a time and a place for criticism, and that's when somebody needs to rectify their actions.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
time for criticism.
I have a couple of things that I wanted to just briefly gloss over. We don't need to talk about it, but the tariffs. So everyone was freaking out about the goddamn fucking tariffs, and I'm a little disappointed because if it had gone on just another week longer, I would have had some money to invest in the dip, because I would have bought the shit out of fucking domestic oil. I would have bought the shit out of fucking Ford Motor. I there were several stocks that I was eyeballing that are now through the goddamn roof today because the tariffs are over. At least for 90 days while they working out trade deals with every country. And I think this was like 50 or 90 nations, something ridiculous like that, with the exception of course, China. And every time they announce a new tariff, Trump ups it by 20%. We're now up to over 124% tariff
Dude,
on Chinese goods.
Did you see the bullshit that the Switch 2 is on right now?
Yes, and that's going to be its whole separate video, which was the video that I was going to make possibly on Friday,
Jesus
because I have a lot to
Christ.
say. That's bullshit. 75
500
nations.
$500 for fucking Switch and then $80 for a video game. You could suck my
No,
left nut.
$90 for the physical copy, and the cartridge is only DRM. It just lets you download the.
Is it 90 now? Because they said when they announced it, it's 80.
90 for physical, 80 for digital, because they want to push everybody to a subscription model so that you never own a single fucking game ever again.
Yeah.
Bullshit. That's the one thing that Nintendo had going for it. You had the game, you played the game. You put the cartridge in and you played the fucking game. Single person experiences.
Oh, well, Smokey's calling us a trash clown.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't think he's calling us a trash clown. I think it's just his catchphrase.
I love you too, Smokey.
He's remembering things from the past. He logged into the Cone Club cult thing channel today, and he described it as like it's as if somebody went on vacation, right? And they asked somebody to like house sit their house, and then they came back and they were just Pokemon action figures and posters all over. Because he was like, why is my shit so full of fucking? And I'm just like, yeah, I might have forgotten to switch off for a couple of years watching YouTube. My bad.
Speaking of Smokey, don't forget, guys, make sure you hit that noti bell for the fucking 30th stream. That's coming up soon.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's
But,
gonna be a banger of a fucking live stream. I'm telling you that now.
I think, was there anything else that I wanted to talk about? Because
You had mentioned the structure of the channel. I know that you said you want to save that for later, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we're going to be going through a restructuring after the 30th. I did mention that at the beginning of the stream, actually, briefly, that I'm going to bring back the Kink Ink on my channel exclusively, and then there'll be an entirely separate, collaborative thing on the Cone Club Cult channel. Quentin is going to be opening his own thing once he's established here.
Music is coming, I promise. It's just
we just got to get him into New York sooner rather than later. Hopefully sooner. Of course, Smokey's going to have his Polemics channel. That's on this channel right here, the Smokey Saint Live. And then I guess Lo is going to have something about finances and financial literacy and stuff like that. There's a number of different projects that we've had in the works for the better part of, I want to say not the full 3 years, but at least 2. And then everybody's very busy with work. Smokey's job required him to really put his nose to the grindstone this week. So that's why he won't be here for the next couple of shows. There's a lot of preparation for the 30th, trying to get everyone's ducks in a row. We've got lots of invites to send out. Some people that are no longer invited because they don't want to do anything with this. And if you saw last week's stream, you probably know at least one of those people. So we've had to rescind some invites. But if you haven't gotten an invite yet, don't worry, that's coming up. I can't reveal too much, but you'll definitely know when you did or didn't get the invite. So check your emails.
You'll regret it.
Check your emails by next Friday, at probably 10 p.m. That's where I want to be. And if I can't find you, I will you'll get a link somewhere. I promise you.
If Will can't find you, I'll find you.
I don't know where. I don't know when.
But I'll find you.
I will find you.
And I will kill you.
That sounds gay. That sounds really gay.
Not as gay as this. Anyway. Yikes. Okay, whatever. You're banned. Bye, Math Pig. You're banned. Okay. Anyway, take care, everybody. I can't wait to see you all next week for the 8 years sober Quentin stream. And we'll have other topics other than that, obviously, because there's only so much you can say about not doing something, because that's basically what we're celebrating is Quentin didn't do something he wasn't supposed to do in the first place. We are happy for him, but we break balls.
No more opioids.
Yeah, no more. Hey, guys, happy not doing the thing day. Anyway,
and I'm going to celebrate by doing a big old line of heroin.
Everyone,
like the rats.
Look. Math Pig finally did us a favor and jumped in the wood chipper. Anyway, I'll see you later. Good night, leprechauns and normal human beings. And Ray's going to stick around for the end. So, post-stream shenanigans. Have a good night, everybody.